interesting, and then find a story within that life. So I think the bar is kind of, is there a story here, and am I the person to tell it?
That's great. It's great. Does that relate to your experience at all, as well, in having, in choosing to direct this is Bruce's is a feature film, and as opposed to these were short subjects, and in encountering these 12 artists, why did you decide to make this your project? And when you did, how did their process and their artistic process affect how you shot? Did anyone hear me? I didn't know if I...
Yeah. Well, I mean, these 12 artists were, some of them, came through the gallery. They're all, do you want to rephrase the question?
You can answer it however you wish. Why did you make this your project? What was it about it that made you want to do it yourself? And second, when you were in there, and in Cuba, in this culture, and in this life, following up on some of the stuff that Marty said, what was it about these people and their process and the way that they respond to their art that made you?
Well, it was just, as I said, it's sort of a lifelong fascination that I've had with the place, and I realized just, looking at the work, you would see maybe a house or a tree that was painted, but because it was painted in Cuba, you realize it meant so much more than just that. There were stories behind everything, and I really wanted to know, my fascination was wanting to know what inspired them to stay there, to want to be there, what inspired this work. And it was a very, very interesting thing, especially the fact that we interviewed artists based in Cuba, not necessarily in the United States or anything. So it meant something quite different. So yeah, it was just a fascinating thing getting to know them. And one of the questions we asked in the film was, sort of, if you could live anywhere else in the world, where would you choose to live? And the kind of resounding answer for all of them was Cuba. This is where they draw all their love and their passion and everything. And it's sort of, you'll hear it in the films said again and again. It's sort of, despite all our problems, despite everything here, this is home. This is where I belong. And there's something about that I was so drawn into that life and what that experience of being there must be like. So that kind of drew me in. But honestly, I wasn't